How's it going, Eliminators? Today, I'm going to be showing you how to quickly and easily remove the dust caps off of the front tires of a riding lawnmower. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So today I'm working on this Ariens Riding Mower that sits outside, and the tires occasionally go low on air. So my customer finally said, just go ahead and get a tube in them. So today we're going to be removing the dust caps first, and sometimes they can be a pain in the butt to get off because they do get weathered and they do start to harden. So when they're new, they're nice and soft and malleable, but after a few years, they do start to get a little bit hard and are difficult to remove. Now over here on the front left, I already have this dust cap removed because I did want to show you how these are secured. So there's a little E-clip that clips into a groove on the axle. There's a couple thrust washers in behind there. And then you guys are going to notice that these dust caps do have this little groove in here. So these dust caps, when they're pressed on, they actually fit onto the washer itself. So you can't just grab a hold of these things and twist them to try to pull them off or walk them off like you would maybe a belt off of a spindle, because as you spin the dust cap here, that washer also spins. So I got a little tool that I wanted to show you guys that makes my life easier. It makes this a breeze to get off. Now I have 3 dust caps in front of me here on the workbench. These 2 are the same, and then this one's different here. So I just wanted to show you guys quickly, when the dust caps are fairly new, you guys can see that they are quite malleable. So there's a little bit of give to them, a little bit of squish. However, after a few years of being outside, these things get incredibly hard. So I'm trying to move this one around, and you guys can see after they do get weathered, they get hard. So in the event that you can't get them off, some guys try to use like channel lock pliers to grab onto these things, and you'll actually damage them. And then the other version here, they're the hard plastic ones. You guys can see in there, hopefully, same kind of groove that allows the dust cap to snap over the washer. But the tool that I'm going to be showing you guys will work to remove pretty much any of these dust caps. So the tools that I have in front of me, believe it or not, are paint can openers. However, you will not be able to use one of these straight paint can openers. You're going to want to get one of these, which is the bent version. So you can already see where I'm going here. This one also has a curved edge on it. So instead of having the flat edge, almost like a slotted screwdriver, this one is curved. And again, with that cap on the tire there, this curved paint can opener allows you to go in there, grab the back side and pull, and then normally I flip over to the other side, grab the back side and pull, and these dust caps come right off. So taking the bent paint can opener, you just grab onto the back side of that dust cap and you just give that side a pull. Now you're going to have to work back and forth like I said, but if you can grab the back lift of that to get these things off, and that curved edge there allows you to get onto the back edge of that dust cap there. And like I said, all you're really doing is pulling it off of that washer. And if you use something like channel lock pliers and these things get hard, then you could actually crack them and tear them, which is not good, because then you're going to be letting all kinds of grass and debris into your axle area there. And you might have bushings, dirt gets under the bushing. Obviously it's going to score the axle, score the bushing. So you guys saw that was one shot, one take right there. Little paint can opener, but like I said, it has to be the bent one so that you can get underneath the cap and pull that off. Makes it super simple to remove those. Now to get these back on when they're soft and malleable, this one is not as soft as what a new one would be, but not as hard as the other one that was on the workbench there. That was from another mower. So to get these on, you kind of have to get it just to the edge and then give it a little squeeze to walk it over top of the washer. It can get tricky because you can see that if you're on too much of an angle, you won't have enough room to push that over, but you can get it to the point where you're close, just like this. I'm trying to do this in one shot for you guys. And then the dust cap goes back on just like that. Now I do have a trick that I'll show you guys to help you out if you have one of those harder dust caps and you need to get them on. So we're back here on the workbench. Again, the dust caps off of the Ariens there that I'm working on, nice and malleable, went on fairly simple, right? So once you get them to the point where they age a bit, like I said, they're just a little too stiff so that you can't kind of walk it over and stretch that edge over top of the washer. So the trick to getting these ones that are a little bit harder on to that washer is just use a heat gun or even a hair dryer, and it will help soften up the rubber and allow you to stretch it over top of that washer. So once again, Ariens one, soft and malleable. This one, fairly hard. So we're going to start putting some heat to it. Now you don't have to cook the thing to the point where it melts, but you do want to get some heat to it, which is why I would recommend an actual heat gun instead of a hair dryer, because they work a little bit better. They get a little bit more heat there. And once you do start to get some of that heat to it, see that? It's like brand new. Now that's not gonna last, right? Here's the one that comes off the Ariens. So this one is pretty much almost revitalized. But like I said, once that cools down, it will go back and kind of like remember the shape that it took, and it will harden up again. So heat gun or hair dryer, a little bit of heat to them, and it makes them fairly malleable. But like I said, using that little bent curved paint can opener with the curved edge on it will allow you to remove these dust caps without taking like a pair of channel locks and completely tearing them apart. And using a heat gun or a hair dryer will allow you to get them to the point where they're a little bit more malleable and make it a little bit easier to get back on. You can see that as it's cooling, it's kind of losing its stretchiness and it's returning to the shape and the form that you saw earlier where I could hardly even budge it. So not a crazy expensive tool. You know, this is probably a couple bucks at your local hardware store. I think this one is from Canadian Tire. Check that out. So like I said, you want to get one of those curved ones. I literally use this thing every day in the spring and the summertime whenever I'm working on riding mowers, because I pop the wheel off, grease the axle if they don't have the Zerk fitting on the inside of the axle. It extends the life of bushings and prevents wear on the axle. So like I said, get yourself one of these curved paint can openers and it makes popping off the dust caps super simple. Well, that's going to wrap up today's video. Like I said, just a quick one, but something that I was doing and I thought what a cool video that would be. Maybe help somebody out, because I know those dust caps can be a pain in the butt to get off. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, think about leaving me a thumbs up. You know, it really helps me out. You can click here to subscribe and click over here to watch one of my previous videos. I upload every single week, so be sure to stop on by next week. Check the channel out for new content. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.